Alright, so lesson 1.4, starting week 2. Last week was about distributive property and some other things. This week here is about the order of operations. You've probably seen the order of operations before. You've probably seen a memorization technique. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which is just a general um, memorization thing for PEMDAS. You might want to write down the PEMDAS thing. But other than that, the P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, M multiplication, D division, A addition, and S subtraction. The question that you should be able to answer when all this is said and done is, why are the order of operations important? And the answer to that question is that math is universal. Calculations in our school at Southeast should match every other school at Lanphier, Springfield, Griffin, and every other city, state, and country. So even if you're in France, the problem 2 plus 5 minus 7 should have the same answer no matter where you are. That's even in space, by the way. Order of operations gives us all a guide. So what we're looking at here is that we should think of the order of operations like a judge, and that judge determines which answer is actually correct. So if you look at these two questions, and you do not need to write them down, but just watch carefully, because some people work them out in different ways. Some people who were taught about PEMDAS say, well, A is before S, and so they do the addition first, and they do 8 minus 5, which is 3. Some people who do it say, well, I'm just going to ignore it, and I'm going to do the subtraction first and the plus 1, which is 5. And the question is, which answer is actually correct? Now, I do not want you to make an opinion. I do not want you to think yet, because just assume that both of these are wrong until I tell you which one is right. So don't go off of anything I just said. I need you to clear your minds and listen carefully, because again, some teachers have taught you the wrong way and you've been doing it the wrong way, and they let you do it the wrong way, and then all of a sudden you get to a real math class and they start marking you wrong. I am teaching you the correct way, I promise. So think of addition and subtraction like students in a lunch line. Male students are not allowed to cut in front of female students, although it might happen. Female students are not allowed to cut in front of male students, etc. So the general idea is, or the question is, how do we determine who we feed first? And the answer to that is, we feed whoever is in line first. And you know this because you've been living this all your life. Every time you go to a store, the person who gets served first is the person who's first in line. So if these people are in a lunch line, Jim, Jane, Nadine, Matt, Kim, and Lonnie, I think it's pretty easy to know that Jim gets fed first, Jane gets fed second, Nadine gets fed third, Matt gets fed fourth, Kim gets fed fifth, Lonnie gets fed sixth. That's common sense. It's not hard to know. Math works the same way. It's common sense. The order of operations is just as much common sense as that, which is why from here on out you will know how to do your order of operations. When it comes to addition and subtraction, deal with the one that's first in line, because they are like students in a lunch line. So you might want to jot these few examples down. It's not a lot. I think there's 4 of them. But all you have to do, and I suggest that you underline them so you know, but looking at this, you have addition, subtraction, subtraction, addition. These are all students, and so they are all the same. That would be a male student, female student, female student, male student, or it could be girl, boy, boy, girl. Bottom line is, if they are all in a lunch line, the first student is not going to be this one. And imagine you're in line and the lunch person comes out and they give a plate to this person, there's going to be a big war or a big issue because the first person in line is here. So therefore, the first person we are going to work out is the first person in line. But you have to rewrite everything else. That's why I underline it. Then I'm going to say this person gets fed. 9 minus 2 is 7, minus 1 plus 3. Then I'm going to feed this person. That becomes 6 plus 3, and then that becomes 9. That is how you do the order of operations. On your MathXL, you have to actually type all these lines out, so make sure you are ready to do that. You don't need to underline them, but again, you do need to make sure you know what you are doing, or what operation you're working out. Second question, again, these are all what we call students, which means first student in line gets worked out. Once again, first student in line gets worked out. First student in line gets worked out. First student in line gets worked out. Those are your answers, and those are the right answers because we followed the rules of order of operations, which again, if it's addition and subtraction, that addition and subtraction you work out like students in a lunch line. It depends on who is first. Alright? Same thing here, 9 plus 6 minus 1 minus 4 minus 2 doesn't matter. These are all addition and subtraction. They are all related. They are all the same level. This becomes 15 plus 1 minus 4 minus 2. First student in line becomes 16 minus 4 minus 2. First student in line becomes 12 minus 2, which is 10. This one here, student, 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 student. So therefore this becomes 8 minus 3 minus 1 plus 7. Pretty much you should kind of see it. This is really not that bad anymore. 5 minus 1 plus 7. You just got to get used to rewriting it. 4 plus 7 and 11. So that would be your answer. Alright. So what we just did today is we took PEMDAS and we focused on the ground level. So today is all addition and subtraction. Should be a very, 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 very easy assignment as long as you add right, which is you do have calculators on MathXL if you go up to question help. But again, that's really all you have to do. But we are working on your skill, and what we're going to do throughout this week is we're going to do addition subtraction today. We're going to do all 4 of these tomorrow. And then Thursday we're going to go from here to here. We will add this next time we see this around because this will come back around. But we will add the parentheses into it. But up to this week, as long as you can do exponents, multiplication, division, and so on, you'll be fine. But again, today we are only focusing on the ground level. So the order of operations is the first experience in algebra that forces us to be patient and work through a problem one step at a time. Please don't rush through the problems, otherwise you'll never get through your quiz, you'll never get through your work. It's not going to work. Again, you will have to type every last one of these things in there when you're doing your work today, so make sure that you do that. And again, ask questions, take a picture of your work and send it to me if there's any issues, because all of your work is actually online. So be sure you answer this question coming up, and other than that, good luck.